Hello, and welcome to our latest instalment of Find My Past from Home. So this is the latest in a series of videos we run every week on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, designed to bring history to you in your homes to help you find your past from home. I am Alex Cox. I'm very excited today because I've been joined by a very special guest. We're covering a topic that I've been very curious about and interested in for a good while now. Which is mudlarking. I'm joined by Jason Sandy. I think it's fair to say mudlarking royalty.
Yeah.
Hello, Jason, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
My pleasure. As I said, I've been really excited about this, and I'm sure our viewers will be too. I've got loads of questions for you. I know we won't struggle to fill the time we have. But one of the first things I wanted to mention was I detected a hint of an accent. How where are you from, and how did you find yourself stood in your wellies on the banks of the Thames?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I was born and raised in the United States. I moved to Europe 20 years ago. I was first in Berlin for 8 years, and then I moved here about 12, 13 years ago. So yeah, I've been in Britain now. I became a British citizen a few years back,
Oh,
and
lovely.
I love Britain, and yeah, I love London, especially all the history. So
Oh, it's under your feet everywhere you go, isn't it? You can't turn a corner without being close to something that's rather incredible. But so mudlarking, tell us a little bit more. What is it?
So mudlarking, historically, the term comes from the mudlarks who used to go along the River Thames at low tide back in Victorian times. Basically, they were looking for anything that they could immediately resell. And just to explain for those people that don't know, but the River Thames in London is a tidal river. So it goes up and down about 7 meters twice a day. So these children, Victorian children, would go out at low tide, and the riverbank is exposed, and they would be able to find ship's nails, coal, rope, anything that they could actually resell. That's what they were looking for.
Oh wow! So it was something that was started out of necessity rather than a pastime, effectively.
So actually, I spend about 4 hours per week mudlarking, but I would say I spend triple that amount of time just researching each one of these artifacts and trying to figure out, first of all, what it is, who might have dropped it in the Thames, what period it's from, what its historical value is. I'm not interested in the monetary value of these things. It's more the history that's the important and interesting thing. And I think that's a good segue into the reason why we're actually meeting tonight is because of a recent find back in August. And I absolutely love that find because I was able to connect the artifact with a descendant of the person that dropped that artifact into the river over 100 years ago.
I love this story. It's fantastic. So how did that all begin?
So I was metal detecting back in August this year, so 2020, and I came across this round object when I heard a beep in my headphones, and I dug it up, but I thought, oh, it's just another Victorian half penny, because we find a lot of Victorian coins from the mid to late 19th century on that side of the river. And if you see just along the bottom of the coin, you can make out some words. And I couldn't quite make it out fully because the coin was quite encrusted. So if you flick to the next image, you can see
Oh wow!
the coin after cleaning. So I use what's called electrolysis, which is kind of electricity to gently fizz it, and it fizzes off all the crud and restores the coin. So this is actually a Victorian half penny, and the person that made this smoothed down the surface, and then this is hand carved. So somehow they carved this in to the actual surface of the coin and then made the hole at the top. And when I first saw the name and the address, I thought, oh, this must be a military dog tag. So the person must have been in the like a soldier or in the Navy or something, and probably had that suspended from their neck, and it dropped off at some point and fell into the river. But it's very unusual to find something in the Thames that has somebody's name on it and their personal address. So it says S. Smith, 13 Delorme Street, Fulham Palace Road. So this is about 1 to 2 miles from where I was mudlarking. So it's quite interesting. The guy didn't go far before he lost this into the river. So the first thing I did is to Google to see if that address still exists. So I went to Google Street View and typed in the name of the street, and it popped up straight away, and a Victorian house is still there. So I was like, ooh, I wonder if they still live there, or maybe a descendant still lives there. So I didn't actually go to the address. But we have a Facebook forum, and I posted this image on the Facebook forum, and we have a lot of clever people on this Facebook forum. And a woman named Karis Lacy kindly offered to do a bit of research about this. So she just did a lot of searching online. And first of all, she found on the National Archives, so the UK National Archives, which is just up the river on the
oh, we know it well.
yeah, in Kew, just by Kew Bridge. And she was able to find, his name is Samuel Smith. So he was listed in the census from 1911. So it was the census of England and Wales, dated 1911. And it had Sam Smith with this address listed, as well as every member of his family. So he had a son and a daughter, and the daughter's name was Nora Smith, and she was born in 1903. And we then found out through your website, so Karis went to findmypast.co.uk and was able to track down Nora, and found out that Nora married Stanley Shayers back in 1928. And then we could track that down, and then he or both of them had a son called Peter Shayers. And we were able, which I couldn't believe, you actually had his address, his home address listed on the website, which I thought the Data Protection Act wouldn't allow you to do that. So I was very thankful.
Modern day electoral registers, they're great.
Yeah. So this was actually from the electoral rolls. That's how you got the address, his personal address. But the last electoral roll that he was signed up for was in 2014, so about 6 years ago. So I was like, okay, I'm going to risk it anyways. I'll just write a note to him and see if he actually responds. So so I found this on like the 30th of August, and on the 5th of September, so just a few days later, Karis passed all this information on to me. And thankfully on your website, you kindly provided that address. I wrote a handwritten note. I took this exact image, I printed it off, and I put it in the envelope, and offered to return the dog tag, and I would bring it to their house. But I didn't want to put that in the mail just in case it wasn't his real address, and then it would just be lost forever. So lo and behold, I waited for about 4 weeks, and I was checking the mail every day and seeing just, has something arrived, asking my wife, kids, has anything arrived for me? And then a month later, so beginning of October, I got a handwritten letter in the mail, and my hands were trembling when I opened it because I was so excited. And this is the letter here.
Wow.
Handwritten letter. And that wasn't the best thing that was inside. If you flick to the next image,
Oh, wow.
is pictures of Samuel Smith. And
his dog.
Yeah. But I didn't know about the dog. So when I read the letter, it said, unfortunately, Peter Shayers, so the grandson of Samuel Smith, the guy who is listed on your website, he passed away last year in May 2019. And so this is his wife that wrote to me. And she said he would have been so excited that I had found something related to his dad's or granddad's dog. What Nora, so I believe, Nora was the mother. Joan Shayers is the wife that wrote to me. So Peter's wife was Joan shares. And what she was saying is that the granddad, Samuel, was in World War I. So he was in the Great War. He did serve in the war, but that's not his dog tag. Literally, that is his dog's tag. So he had a dog, which you can see in the picture there, in both images. You can see the dog and the grandson, Peter, and his granddad, Samuel. So you have the full connection there, which is amazing.
Yeah, that is perfect.
All of them in one image. Yeah. So talking about bringing history to life, I mean, from one coin, which I thought was just a basic Victorian coin, but hand engraved, to the handwritten, what you were just saying, the census from 1911, all the way to seeing a photograph of both the dog, the grandson, and the granddad, Samuel Smith. That does it for me. That's the essence and the brilliance of mudlarking, is just bringing these stories to life, and not just discovering something in the mud, but discovering an amazing backstory.
And that's exactly the same reason why myself, and I'm sure everybody watching, loves family history. It's the ability to really take these deep dives into the stories of everyday people, really. They don't have to be a general or a captain of industry. They could have been a stonemason who lost a dog tag on a walk in Chiswick 100 years ago. And it comes full circle, and you're able to find out this incredible depth and detail. I mean, one of the things that I will do, Jason, I'll be sure to send you later on, is I'm going to take my own homework. Is I'm going to dig out Sam's First World War records and see if I can learn a little bit more about his military service.
Oh, wow.
Would be interesting as well, wouldn't it?
That would be awesome.
You've got all the details you need from the census and from the letter. I love the fact that you thought this when you were writing that perhaps his military dog tag, and it turned out to be an actual dog tag. Brilliant, love it.
Yeah, that was glorious. So I did offer to return the coin. She said, I have 5 other dog tags, so I don't need another one back. So you keep it in your collection because it's got a great story. So it's great to actually still be able to have this piece of history in my collection.
And it sounds like these dropping off and falling somewhere wasn't a particularly rare occurrence if you had a load of backups.
Well, I'm not sure if they were all from the same dog. Yeah, but she just said she has loads already. She doesn't need another one back. But she said she had heard about mudlarks on TV. And so she was, quite excited when she got a letter from a mudlark saying that they had found something that her grandfather-in-law,
that's the one.
Yeah.
And the sheer odds of that making its way back is incredible as well.
Yeah. And she doesn't live too far. She lives in Uxbridge. So that's still London, Greater London. So the family's still in the area, even though this was over 100 years ago that they dropped it. So
one of the other things I wanted to mention at the start, actually, and I very nearly forgot, was to everybody watching who is a potential mudlarker, and I think I put myself in that bracket. You have a book out at the moment, out in February. If people did want to pre-order a copy, where would be the best place to do so?
Yeah, so it's literally on all online bookstores. You can search for it. It's on Amazon, Kobo. If you're in the States, it's at Barnes & Noble's bookstore, Book Depository, Waterstones. So all major bookstores have it online.
Well, I'll be putting my order in this evening, I think. I can't wait to read this. It sounds fascinating. But yeah, this has been beyond fascinating. I think this has probably been one of my favorite broadcasts I've ever done. So I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing all these amazing discoveries with us.